The year was 1985, and that's not important right now, but there was a brand new facility on the boulevard that would revitalize not just the game of baseball, but the way Richmond watched it. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our special preview of the Flying Squirrels opening night. I'm Lane Casadante. Over the next few minutes, we will look back at the Diamond through the decades and look forward to a brand new home for baseball in the River City.
Well, it doesn't just go back to 1985. This plot goes back to 1954. When you look at the players who played in this plot of land over the last 70 years, you've got Mickey Mantle came through with the Yankees. Willie Mays was here with the San Francisco Giants. Satchel Paige came through with the Miami Farm Club.
Anybody that played for the Braves teams in the 90s that won all those divisions and won a couple of pennants and went to the World Series, they came through here. If you're a baseball fan, you have seen the future of the sport before your eyes right here at the Diamond for 40 years.
This is the longest serving professional baseball ballpark in the 150 years or so of professional baseball history in this city.
Much like Parker Field in 1984 going to 1985, it's long past time for this city to have a new ballpark.
The only thing I've worked on longer than this is raising my kids. It's been like 4 Olympic cycles to get this thing to where we can officially say, we're moving into Carmax Park. So that's pretty cool.
Diamond through the decades, the Flying Squirrels preseason preview, sponsored by The Floor Store.
The Flying Squirrels are famous for saying they love to make memories, and for the last 15 years, they've done a very good job of that here. But this building has 4 decades worth of memories for everyone that has come through its gates.
The Atlanta Braves, a major league club, would tell the city forefathers, hey, look, Parker Field's okay, but it needs to be replaced. And so that's where the new stadium cry was starting the groundswell back in the early 80s. In came a general manager named Richard Anderson, who was a Parney before there was Parney. But Richard Anderson came in and he started organizing the troops to get a little groundswell to build a stadium. And one of the persons that stepped forward to help was Bobby Ukrop, and then another gentleman was Richard Hollander. And the 3 of them were able to kind of start planning, kind of start discussing, and doing what needed to be done. And that's when the Diamond started to come to fruition.
I want to talk about your brother a little bit, because I know you were working at Ukrop's with your brother at the time. And in a roundabout way, he also kind of played a big part in you becoming a part of the Diamond.
Yeah. Well, historically, my brother, who's 10 years older than I, used to, there's something he didn't want to do, he gave it to me. But he knew I love sports. Mm-hmm. And we were trying to expand our business, but the reality was, in order to move a project like this forward, he knew, and I knew, you needed to have the working people, the real people in the community behind it. It wasn't something that was going to be dictated to people. Mm-hmm. And I think for the government people and the private sector people to realize that there was a grassroots, there was a pent-up demand for doing something together. Mm-hmm. And having a place where Henrico, Chesterfield, and Richmond residents could come together and enjoy professional sports. It wasn't about baseball, it was about the community.
Who or what company gave you the most resistance not to build the Diamond?
Nobody. We didn't talk to those people. We did not talk. We went to the people who could say yes first.
When you got a chance to talk to Mr. Robbins, to me, from afar, it seemed like that getting the contribution from him was almost like that was the seal of approval. Once he did that, then it seemed like everybody else in the community was like, if he's on board, we're going to be on board as well.
So he was on board when Parker Field got fixed. Mm-hmm. He was in the middle of that. And so that call, when I can still remember sitting in his office, he was behind his desk, and I'd given him a card. And we didn't really ask him specifically, but I said, we need your help. And so what he did, in the course of the conversation, I'm not that enthusiastic about this. And I'm like not feeling so good. I'm on the couch. I'm not feeling so good. So then he hands me the card, and it had $150,000 pledge on it. And I said, "We're gonna win." Some individual gifts that would help us. And I will tell you that the way this thing worked, these are all the people who made monetary contributions to the ballpark. All these are, and they're on the Wall of Fame there. And so this is why it was a people's thing, not to mention all the people who bought ballpark specials and participated in the community-wide efforts that we had to raise money.
You're walking into the Diamond for the first time for a game with the Richmond Braves. What was that day like for you?
Well, it's kind of like a wedding, because all the people involved were dressed in tuxedo. If you have a child, and you see that child grow, and I'm thinking, who would have thought this would happen?
Well, I'll never forget opening night, because it probably almost didn't happen, because people were still scurrying around getting this facility ready to go. In fact, I think the story goes that the occupancy permit license really wasn't signed off on until about 5 o'clock. I really believe sitting there in that moment, on that night in 1985, I think we understood and we knew how special that moment was to the community of Richmond.
The only challenge was, we ended the season in '84, and less than 240 some odd days later, we were opening 1985 on April 17th. So ironically, it was also a Thursday back in 1985.
There's something magical about baseball that draws people out to the park to while away a few hours under the right conditions. Many have tried to explain Americans' love for baseball. Is it that there's no clock to end the game, thus allowing us to drift into a sweet timeliness? Or the box scores, the statistics that form a completeness in the game we don't find elsewhere in our lives? Or is there something mystical and perfect about the dimensions of the playing field? Whatever it is that attracts the fans wasn't strong enough to overcome the rundown condition of Parker Field in its later years. People want to relax, dream, forget their troubles, be entertained, but Parker Field was not very uplifting, to say the least. The new park will make going to a baseball game fun again. I believe it would be a master stroke to give the ballpark a name that would complement this good feeling, a name that would bring the magic back to baseball in Richmond. I suggest we call our new ballpark the Diamond. I hope the Diamond doesn't offend those who believe the community-wide effort to build the park should be remembered in the name Richmond Metro Stadium or something like that. All the municipalities have come together in this endeavor, sparking a renewed interest throughout Richmond. But don't douse the flames with a dull and commonplace name. The Diamond symbolically can include Richmond, Chesterfield, and Henrico. Everyone as the diamond of the community at large, a jewel of many facets, if you will. I would apologize to those who believe we should retain the name Parker Field and to those who would like to memorialize Tommy Aaron. We could set aside a place in our new park to honor these two men and others who contribute to our rich heritage in sportsmanship. Richmond could use a healthy dose of hope and togetherness, and the Diamond can be a special mix of our combined efforts in building the park, along with the magical attraction of the game. Diamonds on Forever was a great slogan to get people to pitch in. Let's make the Diamond we're building together a monument to the magic of the game and the best in us. Sincerely, no name.
Well, on behalf of everybody who spent at least a day or two at the Diamond and enjoyed the memories, I want to thank you for what you did and your colleagues did in bringing the Diamond to Richmond, where they had an opportunity to enjoy some great memories, got a chance to spend some family time, watch some great baseball, and those memories will continue across the street.
Yeah. Sounds good.
Yep.
Appreciate it very much. Thank you.
The '86 was a really, really good team.
We had an infield that was dubbed the $1 Million infield, all of whom went on to play in the major leagues.
And they put together a really good season, won the International League regular season.
We're playing Game 4 of the playoffs. We played Rochester. We're down 2-1, and they got the tying run on second base. And the manager brings in Tom Glavine, 20-year-old Tom Glavine, long before he's a Hall of Fame Tom Glavine. He gets the last out. We win Game 4. We win Game 5. We're Governor's Cup champions.
When Tom Glavine got promoted to the major leagues for the first time, the pitcher who replaced him on the Richmond Braves that day that took his roster spot was John Smoltz. So how often do you see one Hall of Famer, one eventual Hall of Famer, go up and then get swapped into a AAA team for another Hall of Famer?
The Braves put a good product on the field. Guys that you would see play here, the next couple of years you'd see them up in the majors.
Anybody and everybody that played for the Atlanta Braves on those division and pennant and championship teams in the 90s came through here. Andrew Jones was here for 2 weeks. That's it. Went up and played in the World Series that year.
Chipper Jones, they had that great 8 in 1993. Javi Lopez, Brian Klesko.
If you're a baseball fan, you have seen the future of the sport before your eyes right here at the Diamond for 40 years. Regardless of what team you like, regardless of what player you're after, you come out here, you're going to see somebody that's going to be in the major leagues someday. You know, there are some people that can't remember the first time they came to a game at the Diamond because they were too young, and they have a right to say they probably grew up at the ballpark. But there's one guy around here who actually has grown up at the Diamond. He was here on the very first night, and he will be here on the very last night. As a kid growing up in Mechanicsville, Steve Barden spent a lot of time watching games at Parker Field, where he tried and failed to get hired as a bat boy. A few years later in high school, another opportunity came at the area's brand new ballpark.
They had an announcement that the Diamond was hiring for part-time seasonal employees.
Steve came down to apply for a job with his 2 buddies. We needed the bodies. You have to have an usher at every section. I called the first friend. He answers the phone. Michael, hey, yeah, want a job? It's yours. Talk to David. Hey, you're hired. Get to Steve. Nobody answers at his house. He goes to school the next day. Michael and David got jobs. Steve's out in the cold. He's all nervous. So about 4 o'clock that afternoon, I get this call from a young Steve Barden. And he goes, hey, did you try to call me? Yes, sir, Steve, I did try to call you. So Steve got his job to work at the Diamond, and the rest, they say, is history.
This is where it all began for me at the Diamond in 1985.
What was the excitement of opening night when this building opened?
It was immaculate. It was their big leagues.
And so many of the Braves players that made it to the big leagues during those early years went on to fantastic success. Name a player on any of those Braves teams, and chances are Barden was there for part of their ascent. When those guys all came through, was there the excitement about them back then that there would be today?
No.
And because you really didn't know, right?
Right, unless you were a diehard fan and followed the Braves and knew what guys were coming.
You're an 18-year-old kid. What were you doing here on a nightly basis?
Washing uniforms, cleaning the clubhouse, taking care of the mail, pass list, making sure the equipment's ready to go for the game.
Much has changed about baseball in the last 40 years. Dinner for some of those players consisted of Barden running to the concession stands for a hot dog. Today it's 2 catered meals and a much stricter attention paid to their individual diets. Some players stick out more than others, regardless of the time they spent here. Deion Sanders played with the Braves for 6 weeks, and despite his persona, had one simple request for the clubhouse kid.
He was awesome. Steve, keep this cooler full of yoo-hoos for me and I will take care of you, kid.
Did he?
Oh, absolutely.
There have been thousands of pranks and practical jokes as well. John Smoltz and Kent Merker were notoriously guilty, especially with one of the clubhouse classics.
And it would start at the other end of the room and you would all of a sudden hear it. like a fire engine. And then all of a sudden everybody'd be looking down at their shoes, and then there'd be one guy whose laces would be on fire.
Barden has always known and embraced his role in the game, and the payoffs have been beyond memorable.
You just create a positive atmosphere, a fun atmosphere, and when they walk out on that field, they have a smile on their face. I see a guy make it to the big leagues for the first time, and just, that means a lot. And they don't forget, that you helped them on the way.
September 14th has been circled on his calendar for some time. Barden is looking forward more than he is looking back, but it will be the end of a personal era for him, as well as the entire region.
It's going to be bittersweet. I mean, nobody's spent more time in this clubhouse over the last 40 years than me, but it's time. It's time.
Each year, everybody gets excited for all the promotional nights that the Squirrels have here at the Diamond, and they've got a bunch coming up this year as well, like Brandon Crawford Bobblehead Night. He was CBS 6's very first live guest on the very first opening night for the Squirrels here 15 seasons ago. They will also have a celebration of the 1,000th game here. Here's a list of some of the other promotional nights coming up in 2025.
So the promotion starts with our 40th anniversary on April 17th. That was opening day in 1985. I was not born yet. And we'll be celebrating the 40th anniversary, inviting back some of the front office members from the 1985 front office that opened up the stadium. And we'll be giving away a really fun diamond figurine that I will keep forever. And then we will be celebrating the 2010s. We'll be wearing our sleeveless white uniforms that the team wore in 2010, 2011, 2012. And doing a really fun Brandon Crawford bobblehead giveaway. In June, we'll head to the 2000s. And it'll be on June 12th. We'll be doing a 2000s night, which was kind of a limbo time for baseball in Richmond. Some Braves, some no baseball, the announcement of the Squirrels. So for the 2000s, we're gonna be doing a diamond ring giveaway. It's a big championship ring in the shape of the diamond logo. And then the long-awaited Richmond Braves return in the 90s in July. We'll be wearing Richmond Braves-inspired uniforms. And we'll, of course, be doing a Chipper Jones bobblehead, and he'll be wearing his Richmond Braves gear in that bobblehead. And then in August, we'll be celebrating the 80s. We'll be wearing the same Richmond Braves jerseys, and we'll be doing a fun 80s Braves t-shirt that a lot of fans, it'll be a great throwback. Our first one will be yacht rock themed. So we'll have some fun yacht rock music. We're gonna be giving away a Flying Squirrels captain's hat that you can wear at the beach, the pool, the bar, whatever. Come early for some music. Then we'll be doing a country theme, Boot Spirit Baseball. We'll have a country band and some fun beer boots to purchase at our concession stands. And then we'll be doing an Era's Natasha's version Taylor Swift night. So folks can come out. We'll have a fun Taylor Swift DJ. We'll be doing a sing-along, make your friendship bracelets, wear your sparkles. It's Natasha's big night. And then we'll finish it off with our Margaritaville Jimmy Buffett night. We're giving away amazing blacklight Hawaiian shirts, which have been a huge hit over the last couple of years.
This time next year, we will hopefully be sitting in the brand new CarMax Park. And for folks who only know watching baseball here at the Diamond, it is going to be a whole new experience that has everyone excited for the future of the game here in Richmond.
Get asked the question, what makes CarMax Park special? There are a number of different amenities that are included in CarMax Park that you can find in other minor league ballparks across the country. The difference with CarMax Park is you don't find them all in one venue.
When you come to CarMax Park and you enter the front gates, it's going to be different from the Diamond. You're going to experience all the sights, sounds, the feels, the smells of entering a ballpark, of entering someplace special.
CarMax Park is going to bring so many new things that we've never had before. The first fan to catch a home run ball, to have people 360 all the way around is going to be really cool for our fans to get to experience.
This is truly a Major League Baseball field, just a smaller footprint.
It definitely wouldn't be a CarMax Park without the fans.
This is a very loyal baseball town, and this fan base deserves what they're building at CarMax Park.
My job is to create the fun and to create the memories and to do the silly, weird stuff. We're gonna have opportunities to do it way bigger and better than we could here.
Really, what we're doing is taking away the constraints.
So honestly, I think it might get weirder and sillier because you're gonna see it all on a bigger stage.
We're gonna be able to put on a show that is not rivaled by any team in the country.
It's gonna open up so much more to interact with the community 365 days a year.
Well, it's going to be a year-round facility. There's going to be a destination at CarMax Park.
It'll be melancholy. Yeah, I mean, because, 40 years. I mean, when I came to work here, from Pennsylvania, single, loaded all my belongings in my car, and never left. Proposed my wife here, raised 3 children, raised three boys, and good memories out here.
I think I'll be sad not seeing the Diamond, driving down 95, driving down the Boulevard. It was such a big part of my childhood. Like, I remember driving home from family vacations, and once you saw the Diamond rising on 95, you'd be like, okay, we're home.
I remember John Smoltz telling us the story about when he was traded from the Detroit Tigers. He came from a AA team in Glens Falls, New York, and when he drove into town, he saw the outline of this stadium, and it was the biggest stadium he had ever seen in his life.
The reason that it is happening is because the fans' participation and involvement made it impossible for anything else to happen than CarMax Park come to life.
Like anything in life, it moves on. So, but it'll be a celebration. It'll be a celebration, that's for sure.
And the great news is for the next however many years, we're going to make a lot of new memories in history in CarMax Park, and eventually we'll catch up to all the memories in history of the Diamond.
I don't think I've ever been more proud of anything in my life other than my family. And really, really grateful. Grateful to be in Richmond, and grateful to have played a small role in this whole situation. So there you did it. You made me cry on television. Boom.
A lot like my dad, and they call me a tip off the old block.
You have one last season to make your own memories here at the Diamond. The final opening night will be April 4th. Gates open at 5 and the first pitch will be at 6:35. I'm Lane Casadante. Thanks for watching, everyone. Have fun. Go Nuts.
Diamond Through the Decades, the Flying Squirrels preseason preview. Sponsored by The Floor Store.